Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. You know how we do it here. We take one story and just go deep.
That's right. And today we've got a pretty juicy one.
Yeah, today's story, it's all about ambition, deceit, betrayal. It's really got it all. And it all goes down in Lagos, Nigeria.
Lagos. Always a good setting for a story like this.
Agreed. So we're going to be digging into the life of James Adewale. He was, or at least appeared to be, a very successful businessman.
Keyword there, appeared.
Exactly. Our source material is this book, A Web of Deceit, and it does not disappoint. It's a total page-turner.
Yeah, the author does a great job of setting up James Adewale's world. You've got this guy, he's handsome, charming, seems to have it all.
Yeah, he's in real estate, right.
Right, big-time real estate developer. So, Lagos, there's tons of money flowing in. Everyone wants a piece of the action.
High stakes, high rewards, perfect breeding ground for, well, deceit.
Yeah, and the author, she drops these little hints early on, about James's character. Like, he has this insatiable appetite for thrills, always looking for the next big score.
Sounds kind of risky.
Oh, it definitely is. There's this one line that really stuck with me, something about him always choosing questionable paths. You can tell right away that this guy is playing a dangerous game.
And then there's his wife, Tola.
Ah, Tola. What a fascinating character.
From what I gathered, she seems totally devoted to James. Like she's made real sacrifices to help him build his business.
Absolutely, and that's what makes it all the more tragic, because as the story unfolds, you start to see these cracks in their relationship.
Yeah, James, he's always working, always on these business trips. And Tola, you can tell she's starting to feel neglected, like something's not quite right.
It's classic dramatic irony, right? The reader, we see all these red flags with James, but Tola, she's in the dark.
Talk about being blindsided.
Well, she gets blindsided in a major way later on, but before we get to that, we need to talk about Anita.
Oh yeah, Anita. She's not just another woman, is she?
No, not at all. On the surface, she's James's mistress. He makes up this whole story about a business trip to Abuja, but really, he's meeting her at a fancy hotel in Lekki.
So a classic affair. Happens all the time, right?
Yeah, but there's a twist. This whole rendezvous, it's a setup.
Wait, what? Like a honey trap?
Exactly. You see, James, he double-crossed this powerful figure, a guy named Mr. Okonkwo.
Well,
Yeah, uh-oh is right. Okonkwo, he's not the kind of guy you mess with, and he's out for revenge. So he uses Anita to lure James into this trap.
wow. So this whole affair, it's not just about infidelity. It's the catalyst for James's downfall.
Exactly. The arrest scene, it's straight out of a movie. Men in black suits bursting into the hotel room, guns drawn, the whole 9 yards.
That's intense.
Oh, it is. They hit James with everything. Fraud, conspiracy, embezzlement.
And he's just totally stunned, right? Like, how
Yeah.
could this be happening to him?
Totally. He's built this whole facade of success and respectability, and now it's all crumbling down around him. And what's amazing is how fast it all happens.
Like a house of cards.
Exactly. As soon as he's arrested, all this evidence starts popping up. Fraudulent land deals, shady money transfers, everything he'd been hiding comes out into the open.
So Mr. Big-Time Real Estate Developer is actually Mr. Criminal Mastermind.
Well, it seems that way. And it makes you think, doesn't it? How far are people willing to go for wealth and power?
I mean, clearly James went way too far. And poor Tola. Can you imagine finding out that your husband, the man you love and trust, is living a double life?
It's heartbreaking, and the author doesn't shy away from the emotional impact. There's the scene where Tola confronts James in prison. It's raw, powerful stuff.
She must have felt so betrayed.
Absolutely. Not just by the affair, but by the fact that everything she believed in, everything they'd built together was based on lies.
So what happens to James? Does he get off easy?
Not exactly. He ends up serving 10 years in prison, a decade to think about the choices he made, the people he hurt.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah, it is. And the text, it describes this period introspection for James. He's forced to confront his demons, his greed, his selfishness.
Do you think he ever truly regrets what he did?
That's a tough question. The book leaves it open to interpretation, but there are hints that he comes to understand the weight of his actions, the pain he caused.
It's interesting, though, how the story contrasts James's downfall with Tola's journey. She's obviously devastated, but she also finds a way to move forward.
That's one of the most powerful parts of the book. Tola, she chooses resilience. She focuses on her children, rebuilds her life, and ultimately finds a kind of peace.
It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope.
Exactly. A Web of Deceit is a cautionary tale, sure, but it's also a story about redemption, about the human capacity for strength and forgiveness.
Well said. And I think it leaves us with a lot to think about, like, How well do we really know the people around us? And are we always presenting our true selves to the world?
Those are great questions. A web of deceit challenges us to look beyond the surface, to question our own motivations, and to strive for authenticity in all our relationships. It's a powerful message that stays with you long after you finish the book.
Absolutely. Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of James Adwall and the web of deceit he spun.
Thanks for joining us on this one. It was a wild ride.
And until next time, keep the thinking caps on. And remember, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction.